Cyberpunk 2077. So, I know I'm a little bit late to the game, and it's been a while this has been out, but hey, we're still going to talk about it, and we're going to ask ourselves the main question here. Is it fun? Yes, it is. It actually is a lot of fun, and we're actually going to go through it here and talk about it in a couple of different sections. First off, we're going to start with the drama, and man, there was so much drama with this game. When it first came out, there was so much hype behind it. Like, it was so many people really, really looking forward to this game, really excited about the possibilities of it. And when it came out and when it landed with a thud, and it just reverberated across the entirety of the gaming community. It just seemed like they cut so many corners. They didn't give it enough time to really, really bake in the oven, and that's what really messed us up. It was just couldn't meet up to the hype. So since then, they've actually done a lot of work with kind of just plugging away, and I think they've pulled it off here, like with the Phantom Liberty as well as the upgrade 2.0. They've come a long way with making some really cool improvements throughout the game that really make Night City feel like it's much more alive, that there is a lot more stuff going on. Like, even right here, you can see there's people on the street, there's cops on the street, there's dynamic activities that actually start, like this one right here where you actually are able to really jack vehicles for a fixer, take him to his chop shop, and they're able to kind of chop them up and sell them and do whatever it is they do with them. But this is stuff that just pops up randomly. You're able to take part in this, and you can even see from the background, right? I'm shooting, and the bystanders are running around. People are reacting to stuff. People have weapons. Sometimes if you're carjacking them, they will protect themselves. They will come out of the car. They will try and protect themselves. They'll prevent you from taking their vehicle. If there are cops around, they will also react to as well. They will report things. They will call it in. They will have backup kind of show up. So there's a ton of stuff here that they've really done to really make the city look more alive. Cyberpunk 2077 was always a beautiful game, and you can even see that right now. This is during the day, but at night it really, really pops. It's always been a beautiful game, but the thing about it when it first came out that really sucked, apart from the fact that it really had so many glitches, there was so much stuff that was broken with it, but it just felt like it was an empty facade, right? There wasn't really a lot to do. There wasn't really a lot of stuff happening. It was just a really nice looking empty city, and they've done so much to really just bring it to life that it's incredible how you can just spend so much time in the city right now and just have fun and kind of live that fantasy of being in this timeline, as a corpo or a nomad or whatever that may be, and be able to actually enjoy your time in the city, which is fun, and I love it. It's a really beautiful city. They've added even the train. You can take the train if you don't want to drive around, in addition to like fast travel, but everything is just so much more alive, so much more fun, and I like the improvements that they've made here throughout the entirety of the game. One thing I will say is that they've really done a good job as far as just all the additions that they've made, and it's just fun. It's just a really, really fun game now, and I love what they're doing. One thing I will also add is that net runners are super OP. It's ridiculous how much damage you can cause as a net runner. I don't know what other people are playing as, but this is my first playthrough, which I went back and I picked back up playing as a corpo net runner, and the storyline. As a corpo, you got kicked out of Arasaka, and kind of everything kind of spirals on from there. But as a net runner, it's just so powerful, the amount of damage that you're able to cause just staying far away, either being hidden or whatever, and being able to just do so much damage, man. With the right deck and the right setup, you will find that you're able to cause so much damage. I've pretty much completed almost every gig from every fixer, and I find that in most combat scenarios, I'm just using my guns to just kind of mop the bad guys up while I'm waiting for my RAM to regen. And when you have the proper specs, like they even have some additional new kind of cyberware that came in with Phantom Liberty too as well, that you can even find in Dogtown, and we'll get to that later on. But you can do so much damage here. Like, for example, we're going to do, this is an NCPD kind of side quest thing. But just the amount of damage that you're able to do with the quick hacks, with just how far your deck can get is just really, really cool. I love the ability to just kind of go out there and just have fun and just mess around with a bunch of different characters. And some of these weapons are super OP too as well. Like when you get to the end of the game, and I've pretty much gotten to the end of the game. I've completed every single thing in Dogtown. I've done all the major kind of endings that you have in the original base game. So some of these weapons are OP, like this shotgun right here. If you know what this shotgun is, then you know what it is. It is just super OP and just nukes pretty much everything. But it's super fun. So if you want me to tell you what this is, you can, either people can comment on it later on, or I'll put it in the comments like later on. But you can get some really, really cool weapons too as well, like if you spec your character along that route. But my second playthrough is as a nomad, all blades, katana kind of style character, when I'm just constantly going all in. I'm trying to do a literal no stealth build. So it's going to be fun to kind of see how that goes. I want to see if maybe I might be able to take that as kind of down a ninja-ish kind of route, but I don't know if it's going to get there or not. I'm just probably just going to end up being kind of just a samurai mix kind of focused. As you can see here, they've added the fact that NCPD will react to stuff that you're doing right now. They have a GTA style kind of star system that gives you a ranking based on just how much chaos that you're causing, and they will just keep on ramping it up and calling in more and more support up till you get to max stack. And I will tell you, max stack is no joke. In the beginning of the game, they talk about it. They always get their man. If you've seen the Edge Runners anime too as well, how intense these guys are. They're pretty much cyber psychos themselves. They always get called in to kind of help out and take down cyber psychos. But these guys are, you hear that saying all the time, cops and robbers who just, the same thing, different sides of the coin. But these guys are super, super intense. And I always find it fun to just mess around with the cops and just see how far I can take it. And like you see, man, just the Netrunner is just super cool. Like just being able to just do all the stuff and hack people is just super fun, and I enjoy it so much. So yeah, you can see they've made a lot of additions. It's a really beautiful game. Even with the Edge Runners thing too as well, they've added a bunch of side missions too, as well as gigs that tie to the Edge Runners anime, where you can get some of those characters, their gear, go to like a couple of key locations and from the anime too as well, which is pretty fun because they're tying that anime to Cyberpunk 2027 and almost kind of making that canon. So it's really cool that they've done that to kind of marry that anime. And if you haven't seen that yet, please go watch that. I'm sure everyone's kind of seen that by now, but it's just really, really awesome. And I think that just gave Cyberpunk themselves, or CDPR, a really good boost as well, just overall for the game, to really kind of change the entirety of the outlook, which they were already doing a pretty good job of doing that anyway. So yeah, it's just super fun what they've done with it right now, and I'm really enjoying it. Let's switch gears and actually start talking about Phantom Liberty itself. And I'll take you in there at some point and we'll take a look at Dogtown itself. But let's talk about the story. And really, I cannot say enough good things about this story. It is a James Bond, Mission Impossible style spy thriller with a theme song. Oh my God, the theme song. If you have not heard that, please stop what you're doing right now. Go find it on YouTube, Spotify, whatever streaming thing that you can find. But that soundtrack is literally ripped out of any James Bond movie. Like, it is fantastic. And even the ending, the secret ending that you get at the end of that with V, I don't know what anyone tells me, but that is peak cinema. And that is just so fantastic. The way that ended, kind of like a good ending, I would say. Almost kind of the best ending if you've looked at all the endings for V. It's just really cool the way they ended the game. Every single character there that was just well voiced, well acted. Idris Elba killed it. Keanu Reeves, the fact that they got him to come back to do it was really awesome. You get more interactions with him. all the different characters, the one that acted as, Songbird, and, Alex, just tons of different characters. The gigs, the side missions are just so fantastic. Dogtown is like a city within a city in itself, and it's just so rich, so diverse, the different amount of stuff and all the stuff that's kind of going on. If you thought that, Night City was kind of grungy and all messed up, there you can see it, like Mastack took me down, like those guys, they do not mess around. But if you thought that Night City itself was really grungy, go into Dogtown. Like Dogtown, it's smack dab in the middle of Pacifica. It is just, if you've seen the movie District B13, I think it's a Luc Besson movie. He was the one that actually did that, and they actually did a remake of that with oh man, Paul Walker. Yeah, I think it was Paul Walker. Yeah, don't quote me on that, but I think it was Paul Walker. They did a remake of that. It's a French movie, but literally the entryway into Dogtown, it just gives me so much of those vibes with District B13. It's just super cool. You have this entire archaic, no, not archaic, but anarchic city within the city almost of the game itself. There's just this kind of fiefdom that this dude just carved out in the middle of Night City, and it's just super cool. All the stuff that they've done with it, and just the drama, and the fact that even some of the decisions that you make in all the side missions, like this stuff really matters. It will have some consequences as you play throughout the entirety of the game, which is just super cool. That was something that was missing in the original game too, as well. And I love what they've done. Like even this vehicle that I'm driving, like right now, it's tied to one of the major missions. Let's not even talk about the vehicles themselves, because they've added like vehicular combat too, as well. Not just only can you hack vehicles, but you can even like have vehicles that are weaponized and stuff that you can find and purchase and buy. But going back to my point, this vehicle is actually tied to a major mission in the game, and when you see it, it's like super cool. And in the back of my head, I'm just thinking, oh, this is such a really nice ride. Like, I wonder if I can get it in this mission. And the mission ended, and I was wondering, oh, I can't get the vehicle anymore. But later on, you actually get a gig that allows you to actually go get the vehicle. So it's just really cool that they thought about doing stuff like that, where and you can see this is the entry point going into Dogtown. But they thought about stuff like that where they see cool stuff that's happening, and they set up gigs or activities that allow you to be able to go and actually get those things and actually take advantage of some of these cool features that they've added into the game. And here's another example of something that they've added into the game as far as the dynamic kind of activities. In Dogtown, you will have these kind of supply drops because the city is just bombed out due to like the war that happened there. And people, different factions will fight for these resources. Like right now, you can just go in there, you can either get it yourself directly, or you will wait for the people that are there to actually open up the box and fight them directly. But this is stuff that just happens dynamically. You will see the drop, you hear it, you'll see the flare grow up, and then you'll see people just start swarming towards it, and they're trying to, get it, and you can go in there and just take it all yourself. And again, just net runners, man, super fun. But yeah, this is just the cool stuff that they've added into the city, and it's just really fun to just take advantage of and just play around with. And every single time you do that, you get some resources, you get like a skill shard or something. But I really love what they've done here. And within Night City itself, Dogtown is just its own kind of little slice of its own thing. And it's really cool what they've done. The storyline is awesome. If you haven't had the chance to jump into this yet, I think this is the perfect time for you to get back into Cyberpunk 2077. The game's really come a long way. They've made so many key improvements to the game that I think warrant anyone that either played it before and got sick of it and dropped it, or was pissed off about all the drama behind it and never dove in. This is the time for you to pick it up. And I think they have a whole package now that they're doing where you can just get everything all in one. There might be some sales going on just depending on where you're buying it right now. But yeah, it's a cool game. They've done some really cool stuff here as far as even the additional weapons. I totally missed the whole factor, even with the upgrade too as well. They revamped your entire progression tree. Like you can just do a ton of different stuff. Like the old skill progression tree and everything that they had that just literally made no sense. Streamline that all down, and you have a wonderful new progression tree that allows you to spec your character out to a particular style of play that suits you and what you're comfortable doing. And you can always go back and just respec your character again and do it all over again and play in a different style. Just really awesome all the changes they've made here. And I love the fact that they also kind of tied in some of the characters from Edge Runners too as well. You will actually go in there and you kind of see kind of their outline and you kind of see the skill and what they're trying to do there. And it's just really cool how they've really tied that whole thing into the game too as well. And it's awesome. And you can go in the game to like key places from the anime and you can find stuff in there. And it's just awesome. And here, it's cool at the end of the day, you know, when you've done all your gigs, to go and hang out with your paramour, whoever it is that you decided to romance. You can go on a date with them. You know, you go to one of the various apartments that you can now buy too as well. There's a ton of different apartments, so you just don't only get the mega building, but you can just, at the end of a long day of doing gigs, go over to your apartment and get to hang out with whoever your love interest is and just kind of chill and role play a little bit. So yeah, I'm going to stop there, rambling on at this point. Cyberpunk 2077, super fun in 2024. Definitely jump into it. I think it's a fantastic game right now. They've done a lot of stuff to it. I don't know if they're going to be doing any more additions, but definitely this is a good time to jump into the game if you haven't yet. And yeah, let me know what you guys think about it if you've played it before or you're playing it right now. We'll love your comments, subscribe, do all the things. And I'll talk to you soon. Take care.